Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is the fifth video of the series of AWS from beginners to pro, and in this we are going to study how to create billing alerts in an AWS account, right? So let us see what we are going to study in this video. Here first of all we will be understanding how to create AWS budgets that will be helping you to notify yourself if you exceeds a certain amount of charges. Then we know that we have created a free tier account in the previous video. And we also are aware of the fact that free tier account comes with certain limitations, right? Some limitation to usage. So how should we actually understand that now we have exceeded our free tier limit? And in the last we will be creating billing alarms so that we can also get notified if in case we exceed our budget, right? Let us go to our AWS console. With the help of a free tier account, what you guys can do, open up your management console. This is the first time in this particular series when we have opened our console. Before getting into the budgets or the billing section, I shall be telling you about a little bit about the console or the GUI. So here on the leftmost portion, it is services. If you click over here, you can get all the services which are actually available in AWS. Here are the categories, that is, for example, in analytics, you have these many services. And if you go to compute, you have these many services. So you can click over here and open the service of your choice, right? You can also write the name of the service in the search bar also. So here I put EC2. So EC2 is here on the top in the search list. So you can go to your services from this particular search section also. Now coming to this right hand side portion, this is the name of my account. This is ANG management, my account ID, and here are certain things which we are going to explore later on in this video. And in this video we will be concerning about the billing dashboard. Then it is the name of the region you are in. So we have studied the region, AZs, and the point of presence also. So these are certain regions, right? All the available regions are here. And one thing you need to know that not all services in AWS are regional, right? So some services are regional services and other services are global services. Let's say, for example, here I have putting this EC2. If I search open EC2, right? So in EC2, you shall be seeing that this option of region is still there, right? So if I click on this North Virginia, this is the region I'm currently in, you have this drop down menu of different regions, right? So what you can do, you can actually switch on the regions. That makes EC2 as a regional service, right? So if I click on this region, so this will be going to change the region from North Virginia to Ohio. So you can see over here, you can see the changed region is Ohio. But there are certain services in AWS which are global. So let's say one of the services is IAM, right? IAM, right? So if I click on IAM, let's see what is the difference. On clicking on IAM, it is pretty much clear that it is a global service. So if I click over it now, right, you can see that drop down menu is there, but this is disabled. So you cannot change the region over here, which makes IAM as a global service, which does not require a region selection. Similarly, we have a service, let's say S3, right? S3 is also one of the global services that we have. So these are certain services name that you should remember. If somebody asks you what are the global services, so you should know the answer. Okay, IAM is a global service or S3 is a global service, right? So see, it is also global. So CloudFront is also one of the service which is global in nature. So this was something which I actually wanted to tell you about the console, that how we work over here. Now coming back to our topic, we are concerned with the issue of billing, right? So you need to understand that AWS actually cost your services per hour basis or per second basis, right? So there is a lot of possibility that if you have used an expensive service, or if you forgot to do the lab cleanup, maybe you incur a overbilling situation, right? Even if you are in a free tier account. So we want to avoid this situation. For this, what we are going to do is we shall be creating our budget. So the first thing is open a budget from here, right? So if I write budget over here, see the first service which I got is AWS Budget. It helps to set custom budgets and receive alerts, right? So you can click over here also and go to the budget. So I'm clicking over here, and right, so you can see some of the options are over here also, and this is something related to the page related to budgets, and it allow you to create budget alarms when you exceed your threshold, right? So here you can see there is a button, orange color button, create budget. So I shall be clicking over here to create a budget. But one thing you need to understand over here is it is mentioned that there is no additional charge for using AWS budget, but it is not that so. If you create budget, you have to pay a little bit of amount. You need to understand that. But the first two budgets should be free, right? The first two budgets are free. Otherwise, you have to pay around, you can see, 0.1 dollar daily cost for the budgets. And if you want to view the budget reports also, then each reports will cost 0.001, although it is a very low amount, but still you have to pay for it. So you need to understand that. But it is also mentioned over here is that your first two action enable budgets are free, right? So here the budget which I am going to create over here will not cost any money from your free tier account, right? So make sure whenever you are using any tool, make very sure that do you want to actually create that particular or use that particular service or not. Right, now coming back to your billing management console, and now click on create budget. So here enabling cost explorer is required if you want to create these budget which are disabled right now. So there are four types of budget if you are able to see. The first one is the cost budget, which is always recommended. Then it is the usage budget, which is saying that how much you have used up your services. Then saving plan budget and reservation budgets are also there, right? But here we will be concerning about the cost budget also. So it has already been selected, and click up on next, right? So it will be requiring to enter certain amount of data over here is, so it is telling you the steps, enter your budgeting details, then budget amount and so on. So it is asking about the details. So the name of the budget, it will be my first budget, right? After that you have to set up the amount of the budget. So it will be asking the period. So let daily will be a lot of, so I will be using okay monthly. Then recurring budget, it is recommended. Budgeting method, whether it should be fixed or it should be planned or auto adjusting, so I will be going for a fixed budget only, right? And it is saying that enter the amount, right? So this is a new account, so it is actually estimating my last month's cost, but here I shall be recommending you to enter 0 over here, because we want to be in the free tier account properly. If any amount we have incurred, right, so that will be notified to us. So you can enter 0 over here. Now the budgeting scope is all services, very fine. I do not want to filter any services over here. And it is some extra information of filters, we do not require it, and we will be clicking on next over here. All right, so it says that it budgeted amount cannot be zero, so let us change it to this particular thing. Previously I think zero was allowed, so let it be this much. This is also a very low amount, and then click on next. Yeah, so that is done. The next thing is configure alerts, right? So configure alert is that if the amount exceeds a little bit, I need a notification, right? What I'm going to do over here is I shall be adding an alert, right? To add an alert, right? So it says that if you reach 80% of your threshold, right, the actual value, then there should be a alert which should get triggered, right? So notification, I wanted to come to my mail, so I will be writing an email address, right? The email that I have created for AWS purposes only, and I will be clicking on next, right? The next is attach auctions. No, it is very fine, and click on next. So it is the reviewing alert. I have added one alert. Attach actions, no actions I want to do. Create budget. So here my first budget is now been created. So you can see that the budget is now created, and if I reach 80% of this particular amount, then I shall get a notification here, right? So this will be the other notification logs which we can actually get the notification, right? So that was something related to budget. Now, the second thing which we want to understand is if we are inside our free tier limit or we have exceeded our free tier limit, right? So on the right hand side there is a tab called free tier. Right now there is no data because this is a very new account. You can see after a little bit of usage, you can see that there are a certain data over here. You can see the actual usage, the forecasted usage, and so on. But we want to make sure that we stay in this particular limit only, right? So for that, you have to scroll down and find out billing preferences. Right now, click on billing preferences. You click on billing preferences, you see there are certain preferences given over here. The first is receive PDF invoice by email. So do you want that the budget PDF should be sent to you by email? You can click over here. Now this is the cost management preferences. It is saying that receive free tier usage alert. Now turn on this feature to receive email alerts when your AWS service usage is approaching or has exceeded, right? So if you want to be in free tier limit only, you click over here and again provide an email address, right? That is the same email address, right? So save preferences. So this will make sure that you always receive alerts when you exceed your free tier limit. So that was the second thing that we wanted to study over here. Now, next what we need to do is to create alarms, right? Billing alarms. So what we will be doing over here is write cloud watch in the search bar, right? And CloudWatch is a service which is provided by AWS for monitoring the resources, right? So it monitors the resources, therefore it can also monitor the charges which are incurred by the resources, right? So click on CloudWatch. After clicking, you will be redirected to CloudWatch Management Console, right? So on your screen, you can see it is CloudWatch Management Console. Do not worry about all the other things that CloudWatch service can do. We will be having a separate portion of lectures on CloudWatch. right? But here we are only concerned with alarms, and that too billing alarms, right? So we will be focusing only on creating billing alarms. So you can see over here in alarms, if you click on this alarm on the left hand side, you can have an option of billing. Right now, click on this billing. On clicking this option, you will be redirected to billing alarm portion, right? And you can see a little data is given regarding the alarms. So it says that Amazon CloudWatch can help you to monitor charges on your AWS bills by sending you an email alert when charges exceed a threshold you define. Now, that is the exact thing we want to do. We want to create alarms, right? And one more important thing which is there is you get 10 free alarms and 1000 free email notification each month, right? As per the free tier availability. So 10 free alarms and 1000 emails are a sufficient amount that we get into your free tier. So now clicking on create alarm. Here, you can see it is asking about certain matrices, and a portion graph is given, which is not yet because it is a new account. So no graph is there right now. But you can see that the namespace is AWS billing. Metric name is estimated charges. Obviously, we want it on charges only. Currency is US dollar. Statistics, we have a lot of thing in statistics. It can be average, sum, or maximum, minimum. But here we will be considering maximum only. Right, so let it be on maximum. Then coming to period, that is how many, means how much time after you want this alarm to get triggered. So period is 6 hours. So if the amount is exceeding, within 6 hours you will be getting that email alert, right? So this is 6 hours over here, let it be 6 hours. The default setting is good. Now the next thing is condition. Now there are two types of conditions, threshold type are mentioned. One is static and another one is anomaly detection. Static is a fixed threshold. That means you will be setting a budget amount, and if it exceeds that threshold, you will be getting the alarm triggered, right? Anomaly detection is actually a range. Anomaly means some anomalous situation which we do not want to occur in our account. Maybe a user have used certain services which are expensive, or you forgot to do the lab cleanup and so on. So you do not want to have any anomaly. So there is a range of threshold. This is a band. So it can be triggered. You can see three options over here. Whenever the estimated charges is outside the band, greater than the band, or lower than the band, right? So in these particular three cases, if it is outside the range, greater than the range, or lower than the range, only then the alarm will get triggered. But for today's lab, let it be static, right? After that, you will be setting the threshold value, which is 0.01. As you can know that 0 is not acceptable now, right? Then coming to additional configuration, these configuration will be the advanced settings. So I don't think that I will be going on any advanced settings right now in this video. So let them be default, right? And then click on next. Now here you can see there are three types of notification. First is in alarm, that is if it exceed the threshold, then alarm. If thing is fine, then it's okay, and if it is not able to trigger the alarm, it's insufficient. Next we have send a notification for the following SNS topic. Now here SNS is the simple notification service which is available with AWS, and again we will be studying it in detail in the upcoming sections also. But here you need to understand that it sends notification to an endpoint, right? Endpoint can be a phone number, or it can be a email address, and so on, right? So I do not have any existing topic over here. There are certain things which is topic and endpoints, the terminology of SNS. So here I will be creating a new topic. Right now see what a new topic actually is. So for creating a new topic, what we have to do is we have to fill certain data, right? We have to create a new topic, so we have to give it a name, a unique name, and we have to fill the email address because I want email alerts, right? So for that, creating new topic, we will be giving it a name over here. So let me just change the name and write it as my billing alarm, let's say. So this is my topic name. You can keep any topic name as you like. Then the email address on which you want to receive the mails, right? So I am using the mail ID with which I have created my root user, that is with which I have created my free tier account. Okay, so this is my email address, and after putting it, we will be creating on create topic, right? So this is how we create a topic. We have a name and we have an endpoint in the topic, right? Now other actions I will be keeping it as default. So no auto scaling action or EC2 action or any other action I'm keeping right now. It to be very simple, only alarm notification. Now give the name to the alarm, right? So my first alarm for let's say billing. So that is the name of my alarm, and the description is optional, but still if you are making a lot of alarms, so you can write a description of your choice. So notify when bill exceeds 0.01, right? So simple, any description, and click on next. So here you can see it will be asking you to preview and then create. So everything looks fine over here, and click on create alarm, right? So now you can see that the first alarm is created, but you can see over here is that some subscription are pending, right? Some subscriptions are pending over here, and you can see that there is certain warning also giving over here. Now this warning is not from CloudWatch, this warning is from SNS service, right? I have given my email address that please send notification on this mail ID, right? So SNS service will always want a confirmation, right, for the same. Now, in order to remove this warning, what we need to check is that some subscriptions are pending confirmations, right? So we have given our email ID over there. So this SNS has to confirm the endpoint. Email is the endpoint. So go to SNS service, and here you can see that this is having a pending confirmation, right? So what they have done over here is they have sent me an email, right? This email, AWS notification subscription confirmation, right? So what I have to do is I have to click on confirm subscription, and after that this confirm subscription is actually done over here. And if I do not want this to continue, I can click on unsubscribe. But yes, I have confirmed this. You can refresh your page, and now everything will be working fine, I feel, right? So yes, now the status is confirmed, so you are good to go, and this warning should now also get removed from here. So now the proper billing alarm in CloudWatch with SNS is been created. So you can see over here that now actions are enabled and no warning is there on your screen, right? So now I hope that this video is pretty much clear to you all, how we can create budget, how we can ensure that we are in free tier limit, as well as how to create billing alarms using SNS and CloudWatch. Right? Now for more such videos on AWS, stay tuned to my channel. Thank you.